Last night I dreamed. I was out walking. It was a partly cloudy afternoon, and I was walking through a very, very nice neighborhood. There was lush foliage, gorgeous lawns, big, beautiful homes, expensive vehicles parked in the streets. I felt really out of place in this neighborhood. This was upper scale. And suddenly, some storm clouds moved overhead and it just started pouring on me. So I started running down the sidewalk, and the very first business establishment that I came to, I just opened the door and ran inside. Now, I didn't see a sign on the outside of this building, so I had no idea what to expect once I got in there. But once I got in there, it became apparent that this was a country club. I was standing in the vestibule drying off, and I was just having a look around. And yeah, the furniture looked like it was hundreds of years old and had belonged to royalty at one point. I didn't want to sit on anything. I didn't want to touch anything. I just wanted to stand there and dry off. Well, I stood there for a couple of minutes, and no one seemed to notice me. No member of the club, no employee on staff approached me and asked what my name was, what I was doing there. No one offered to take my coat. No one seemed to notice me at all, so I figured, okay, well, I'll have a look around here. So I walked around this country club for about, it seemed like 10 to 15 minutes. I remember there were some gorgeous antique lamps. They looked like they were Victorian era in there. The library was massive. It reminded me of the library from Page Master. Yeah, really, really nice place. But the longer I walked around in there, the more and more tense I became, because I figured, okay, my luck's going to run out here. Somebody's going to approach me. Somebody's going to ask what my name is and what I'm doing here, and I'm going to have to break the news to them that not only am I not a member of this country club, I could never afford to be a member of this country club. And knowing my crap luck, this would all play out in front of a group of billionaires who were playing billiards and puffing on Cuban cigars, and I would just... it would just be so embarrassing for me. So I wanted to leave. I wanted to get out of there all of a sudden. So I opened the door nearest to me and walked into an enormous dark room. It reminded me of the warehouse in Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was dimly lit. There were lots of cobwebs everywhere. There were crates with catalog information printed on the sides of them, and there was lots of antique furniture covered in cloths. I pulled back some of the cloths. I saw some old chairs. I saw a very old desk, and I opened a couple of the drawers to the desk, and there were documents inside dating back to the early 1800s. And I was fascinated by these. I read through a couple of them. Some of them were invoices. Some of them were just letters of correspondence. I put them back in the drawer, closed it, and I looked around and I thought to myself, wow, I've got to get out of here. I don't belong here, but I really want to come back to this place sometime and just have a look around. There's lots of fascinating stuff in here. So I did find another doorway that led outside, so I left. I went through that doorway, I left. By this time, it was no longer raining out there. And then I walked to a mall, and just outside of a Mrs. Fields store, I saw Canadian musician and singer Sara Quin. She was just walking out of the Mrs. Fields store, and we made eye contact, and she stopped, and we stared at each other for a few moments. It was as if we'd recognized one another. I've never met Sara Quin. I don't believe she knows I exist, so I don't know, but we looked at each other like we'd known one another. And that's all I can remember. I don't think I went into the Mrs. Fields store, though I should have. I love their cookie sandwiches.